Hey everyone, I am back. It's just been so busy lately, but I decided that I should probably do this again. I was getting restless and irritable, and I have to go back to reading. That way I get some serenity. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna be reading from One Day at a Time, Hope for Today, and Courage to Change. I'm gonna read the November 12 passage on all three. So it's on page 317 on all three books. So I'm gonna read from One Day at a Time in Al-Anon first. Page 317, November 12. Listen and learn is the Al-Anon prescription. We could all make good progress if only we would cultivate the knack of listening uncritically to everything we hear at a meeting or from an Al-Anon friend. It sometimes happens that the words of those who are unschooled or those who are negative and confused can bring us a sudden gem of thought that will help us. If we're concentrating on dark thoughts about our own problems, we could be missing something that might help us overcome them. If we are contemptuous of some downtrodden, unkempt mortal using ungrammatical language, our attitude may deprive us of an unexpectedly helpful idea. Today's reminder. An old hymn says, "I will listen for thy voice, lest my footsteps stray," which may remind us that his voice speaks to us even through the least of his children. The essential quality of good listening is humility. A holier-than-thou attitude can block out much that we need for our guidance. Quote, "It is the privilege of wisdom to listen," by O.W. Holmes. I like this. I want to reread this, just like a sentence on it. It says, "It sometimes happens that the words of those who are unschooled or those who are negative and confused can bring us a sudden gem of thought that will help us. If we're concentrating on dark thoughts about our own problems, we could be missing something that might help us overcome them. If we are contemptuous of some downtrodden, unkempt mortal using ungrammatical language, our attitude may deprive us of an unexpectedly helpful idea." Wow, that was some good vocabulary there. This is a really good reading. I mean, as part of Al-Anon, usually the people in Al-Anon can agree that they know somebody who can classify under that column. And yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna go to Hope for Today. Moving on, November 12th, page 317. Serenity? What's that? For years, I was like a weather vane that spun around according to the air currents that other people generated. My husband criticized me, and I lost my serenity. My boss became upset, and I lost my serenity. Before Al-Anon, I attributed those mood swings to nervousness, lack of self-assurance, and whoever else occupied the room at the time. Serenity always seemed beyond my control. I was convinced I needed quietness to feel serene, so I retreated into my room and napped frequently. Today, I don't need to withdraw to quiet places nearly as often. I don't need to run away from life. Sometimes I can even stand in the middle of a frenzied atmosphere and let it swirl around me, while I remain unaffected. I can tell myself to hush when my mind enters the muddy waters of what if. I can sit still in the present moment and feel grateful for the sound of rain falling on the roof, and for the purring cat curled up next to me. In my gratitude, I experience serenity that I never knew before. Where does this serenity come from? It comes from trusting that everything in my life is exactly as it should be. I feel it when I apply a slogan rather than panic about something. It comes when I choose to care for myself rather than to fix someone else. It surrounds me when I seek God's will in prayer and meditation. It envelopes me whenever I walk into an Al-Anon meeting, see the familiar faces of those who accompany me on my journey, and know once again I am not alone. Thought for the day. I am powerless over many things, but my serenity is not one of them. Quote, today I know that sanity and serenity are the gifts I have received for my efforts and my faith. Courage to Change, page 248. Wow. It is a really good reading about serenity. I like that, noticing the little things. Moving on to Courage to Change, page 317, November 12. I'm not particularly handy with tools. Recently, a friend demonstrated to me that oiling a saw before using it makes it work more smoothly, whether it's cutting metal or wood. Later, it occurred to me that learning to oil a saw is a little like learning to apply the Al-Anon program. Though skeptical, I considered learning a new way because I saw it demonstrated. I knew that the program worked when I saw how serenely Al-Anon members, in circumstances similar to mine, were coping with difficult situations. So I tried their approach. I learned to apply the steps: Al-Anon literature, slogans, meetings, and sponsorship. Using this tool doesn't change the raw materials of my life, nor does it provide me with new equipment. It does make what I already have more useful, and that removes many of my frustrations, giving me great satisfaction. Today's reminder: building a useful and fulfilling life is not an easy task. Al-Anon helps me learn more effective ways of living so that I can avoid needless difficulty. With the proper tools, progress is just a matter of practice. Quote, you learn to speak by speaking, to study by studying, to run by running, to work by working, and just so you learn to love God and man by loving. Begin as a mere apprentice, and the very power of love will lead you on to become a master of the art. By Francis D. Sales. That is also a topic about serenity. Wow. I like how it says here under today's reminder, building a useful and fulfilling life is not an easy task. Al-Anon helped me learn more effective ways of living so that I can avoid needless difficulty. With the proper tools, progress is just a matter of practice. Begin as a mere apprentice, and the very power of love will lead you on to become a master of the art. Thank you all if you're still listening and reading with me. Thank you so much. Please hit the subscribe button. Again, Al-Anon is an anonymous organization, and we are not allied with any sect, political entity, or denomination. And yeah, I'm with you all in this walk of life filled with ups and downs. And God bless. Right, bye.